Hi, everyone, and welcome to Studio Jake. I, of course, am your host, Jacob Airy. Thank you so much for joining me today. And I wanted to talk about it's one of my favorite, um, you can call it a comic book coming out of South Korea. So I'm a huge fan of the series Solo Leveling. I'm reading the third book as we speak. I've written reviews for book one and book two, and it's something that I enjoy a great deal. The story basically it's kind of what you would call an urban fantasy. So what happens on our plane of existence is there are these sort of extra dimensional prisons or dungeons that manifest themselves into actual cities and nations, and they have all kinds of deadly creatures, and they send these warriors in to go in teams of it varies, but typically they do 5 to 6 and go in and slay the boss, because the boss kind of acts like a queen bee. If you slay the boss in the dungeon, then the other monsters and creatures in it will die. And what happens is a character who is a Korean. I think his name is Jing Woo is his name. A really cool character, by the way. He goes into a bonus dungeon with some people, and they basically leave him to die. He sacrifices, although he does kind of offer himself to be sacrificed. His team abandons him, and he gets or this thing called the system downloads into him. And basically, even though he's such a small rank hunter, I think it's rank E. So it goes E is the lowest, and it goes all the way up to level A, and then they have the S tier, which is you're incredibly powerful. And even though he is E rank, he has all of these incredible abilities. He gets sort of this mystical knife where he can channel his powers. And it was announced that a Japanese anime studio called A1 Pictures, which is behind one of my all time favorite anime called Fairy Tale, they are doing an adaptation of it. Now, the adaptation is actually causing some controversy. First of all, Solo Leveling is made in South Korea, and it was originally a web comic written by an artist known as, and forgive me if I'm pronouncing this incorrectly, but Chu Gong, and illustrated by an artist known as Dubu, but his real name is, according to the source I'm reading, Jang Sang Rock. And I just want to say, Jang Sang Rak is an amazing artist. His illustrations are fantastic. His covers are fantastic, and I think it is kind of sad because it has been reported by multiple people that he did in fact pass away, and um, he was he died in I think 2002. It was very tragic, and he was the co-creator on what they call a manhwa, which is like I said, it's basically a South Korean comic. Started on the web, and Dubu was a fantastic artist. And I just want to say that from the outset. I will refer to him by his pseudonym, just because that's how he chose to be a creator, and so I'm going to honor him in that way. Um, Fantastic artist, amazing illustrator, and he operated out of, I think, it was called Reed Eye Studio, and it was truly amazing. Well, A1 Pictures acquired the rights to create an anime, so it's an anime adaptation of a South Korean comic book, web comic. Now published physically, I own the first three entries, and basically the controversy is coming because in South Korea, they and Japan kind of have, shall we say, there's a lot of tension between the two nations. And just look it up on your own history. I'm not going to recount it here, that would take too long. But basically, there's a lot of tension between the two. Now, they are, thanks primarily to animation, and as well as publishing their works, they are getting certain trade deals, hence how this anime adaptation is happening. However, it's causing controversy. And the reason is A1 Pictures is developing it instead of it taking place in South Korea in Seoul. It's going to take place in Tokyo, Japan, and they're rewriting the main character. So this is from, or at least that's what the rumor is. Um, According to Yahoo News, director Shinsuke Nagashiga will helm the anime, which will be written by Noboru Kimura. Composer Hiroki Sawan, who worked on Attack on Titan and Seven Deadly Sins, is also reportedly tied to the project. While not much has been revealed about the anime yet, some reports are speculating that it might take some details from the original manhwa's Japanese adaptation, which was released as a light novel in Japan in 2021. The Japanese adaptation of Solo Leveling takes place in Japan, or excuse me, takes place in Tokyo, not Seoul. Instead of focusing on Korean antagonist Sung Jin-woo, readers follow the story of a Japanese man named Shun Mizashunu. Additionally, the original manhwa paints Japan as the bad guy. I haven't. Just want to pause right there. It is true that that since it takes place in South Korea, it shows it does kind of show other nations wanting to um, infiltrate their level of dungeon hunters. And I didn't really see it as being anti this or needing a backlash. In America we do that all the time, right? Russia's been an antagonist in many of our cinema. It's just something that other countries do, right? It's just something that happens. But anyway, additionally, while the original manhwa paints Japan as the bad guy, as some readers have claimed, the Japanese adaptations creators found a workaround by creating a fictional country. Several netizens have been expressing their disapproval of Solo Leveling's anime adaptation, with some writing comments on websites such as Yaron Blog to criticize the project. So, it is pretty, I have to say, this whole thing where an adaptation has to be a certain way is really interesting. So, for instance, this wasn't that uncommon for an Attack on Titan, or I should say that was not uncommon, is what I mean. For instance, in Japan, the Attack on Titan story, the stories center out. They make it clear that the majority of the characters are of European descent. However, if you watch the live action Attack on Titan, with a few exceptions, you will see that they casted a Japanese cast in the live action adaptation of Attack on Titan, which I haven't seen, but the trailers look bad, and if the trailer looks bad, I tend to back off of it. But all that to say, it wasn't really like, for instance, when Speed Racer first came over to the United States, the original dubs, tried to, more imply that Speed Racer wasn't, a Japanese character. Same with Sailor Moon. They changed their name to Serena in the Deke dub, and all kinds of things like that. That wasn't that uncommon. Now, I prefer things to be based on their source material, but it's kind of like, I would rather it be close to their source material, but I don't think there's anything nefarious going on when it comes to that. I think that the country that's adapting it, they just want it to be connected to their populace, to their audience, and I don't see anything wrong with that. Like I said, I prefer it to stay how it was. Like I wouldn't want and by the way, when the first Japanese adaptation of Spider-Man, they casted a Japanese actor and changed his name and gave him a mech suit. So, should the Japanese be criticized for that? Maybe, but, I get what they were trying to do with it, And of course, Marvel has done so many ridiculous things with the Spider-Verse now. When it was cool in the animated series, it was cool in the video game, but Dan Slott, even his first story was okay, but then past that, oh my gosh, okay, we get it. They don't really like Peter Parker, right? So, with Solo Leveling, I don't know what the answer it is here. I don't want to suggest that there's some sort of nefarious or offensive purpose behind this. I'm excited to see the anime. I do think that the teaser the animation wasn't as good as I've seen with other A1 Pictures anime. Um, but I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt because the teaser was just the teaser. A lot of times with these animated shows, Jimmy Neutron comes to mind. The Jimmy Neutron teaser had no scenes from that were in the movie at all. It wasn't until the full trailer came out that we really saw what was in those shows. So I'm just wanted to explain this controversy. Personally, I'm going to wait till the show is published or until we get a full trailer. You can usually tell when like the full trailer comes out what direction that it's going to go. If I was the creators behind Solo Leveling, I wasn't satisfied with this anime take on the story, I would go to my home country because South Korea has a ton of amazing animators. Their entertainment industry is booming right now. So I would either go to them or maybe even a United States animation studio. There's certainly a lot of very talented animation studios here in the States as well. You know, you wouldn't know it if you turn on Cartoon Network or HBO Max, but they're out there. So to get this into development, certainly, I think the people behind Invincible, say, would make do a good job adapting Solo Leveling. Is my point. But anyway, that's all I wanted to talk about. I am excited for the anime. I'm excited that because originally, for a while, you could only get the first 5 Solo Leveling books here in the States. I'm glad that now more releases is coming out. More releases is coming out. More releases are coming out, and I look forward to seeing where this anime is going to go. Will it be a straight adaptation? Will it be more with a twist based on the animation studio's desires? We'll just have to wait and see. Like I said, I don't think it's nefarious like, how Warner Brothers and Disney are adapting DC and Marvel respectively, but we'll have to wait and find out about it. There have been imperfect adaptations of anime. I'm not a Finding Neverland fan, but that comes to mind. I remember that when Finding Neverland Season 1 came out, it was this huge hit, and then apparently Season 2, they took whole story arcs that should have been like 4 or 5 episodes and condensed them down into one episode, and then skipped a fan favorite story arc. That's never a good idea. Don't do that. It just doesn't make any sense. Just have a good time with it. And so, like I said, Solo Leveling, I'm a huge fan. I can't wait to see the anime. I'll judge it then when it comes out, or at least till the full trailer comes out. Like I said, you can usually tell a lot by a trailer. Sometimes that's not the case, but you can tell a lot by a trailer. And we'll have to wait and see. But I honestly think this is kind of a controversy. I think that, the article I just read from Yahoo News, the mainstream media likes it when there's conflict in the anime community because it just gives them an excuse to write more hit pieces. So I think that that's probably all this is. I think that's the only reason this thing is even coming to light. A few blog posts don't really mean anything. And like I said, this is all speculation. It's rumors. And maybe if it comes out, we'll know for sure. But anyway, that's just my take on the Solo Leveling controversy. And I hope you learned something. And let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you'll give it a thumbs up, that you'll leave me a comment, tell me what you think, that you'll share it out with your friends, and of course, consider subscribing to Studio Jake. I cover all kinds of nerd and pop culture topics, including film, television, anime, comic books, and so much more. I hope that you'll also head over to my main website, studiojakemedia.com, where I have even more news, views, and commentary. Also, if you'd like to support the channel, head over to my locals page. That's studiojakemedia.locals.com. It's the best way to support me. I'm trying to build a little community there. I have exclusive reviews and articles, so definitely head over there and check it out. And I'll see you next time right here on Studio Jake.